Hi, welcome back to my weekly update. My name is Fleur and my topic for today's business update is be prepared. And what I'll talk about in just one moment is it's important to take the time. So more about that in just a moment. So I'm delighted to be doing another weekly update. As those of you who have already following me know, I'm new to this whole YouTube video thing, as in creating my own videos. So last week I was messing around with an external microphone, and this week I'm playing around with lighting. I'm just using lighting sources I already have, and once I get it right, then I'll get something that's more appropriate. So that's why the background's shifted and changed a bit, because there's only certain places that I have lights already installed. So apparently having a light right above you is a good idea, as well as behind you. So anyway, that's enough about that. I digress. Let's get back to the topic of be prepared. Now, what was I meaning when I was talking about take the time? All too often, when I hear people talking about preparing for presentations, whether it be at their local networking group or as a guest speaker who's been invited in, or any number of opportunities to speak live in person, a lot of people talk to me about they haven't got the time to prepare. And myself, I've come from a performing arts background, and it's just ludicrous to think that you haven't rehearsed before you give your live performance. And this is the attitude that I recommend we all take, myself included. I'm really looking forward to a presentation I'm giving to the Young Lawyers Committee. It's an inter-industry event between young lawyers and young accountants. And although the topic I'm presenting on is top tips for networking success, which I've delivered numerous times, because it's a fresh new audience and they have asked for some specific requirements, I'm making sure I'm rehearsing and practicing that presentation at least 3 times before I present it live. And the reason for this is live performance, live presentations means anything can go wrong. If you are prepared and if you've rehearsed it in ideal conditions, then generally you can handle something going wrong without it completely freaking you out. I also recommend, when talking about the concept of being prepared, is if you're using PowerPoint or some kind of slideshow, whether it be Prezi or from PowerPoint or whatever, is to make sure you've rehearsed using it. So all too often we're preparing for this presentation, we spend our last couple of days on the slides and we've never gone through them, and then it comes as a complete surprise or near complete surprise live in front of your audience. That I don't recommend. If you're not into, or you're getting bogged down and distracted by putting a presentation together, a slideshow presentation, either outsource it to someone else who can do it faster and quicker than you, and they can get it back to you at least 3 days, if not a week, before you present, so you can actually rehearse it. Or just have the bare minimum. Have the title page, have a page about you and an ending page, a closing page, and just use those and present naturally. Because I know many great speakers who actually don't need prompts from a slideshow. For me, I use a slideshow to keep me on time, because I love to talk and it just keeps me focused and makes sure I'm addressing the specific needs that were requested for this specific group. So that's what I do. Although I've got some set presentations such as top tips for networking success, such as the lost art of face-to-face communication and a bunch of others, although I've got these set presentations, I do tweak them and adapt them to the specific audience I'm going to be in front of. And I do that so it's relevant for them, but also it's more meaningful. And it also keeps me fresh, and I come across as a fresh, vibrant, current speaker, rather than one that perhaps has done the same old presentation 1,000 times. So that's my recommendations on being prepared. So compare. Perhaps you have a local networking group that you go and you've got the opportunity to do either a 60-second or a 10-minute presentation. Why don't you just test out how you feel and the response you get by doing a 60-second presentation that is completely unrehearsed, and compare it to the response and how you felt in delivering it as well of a really well rehearsed 60 seconds. It's not by chance, and a lot of people say to me when I speak at networking groups, whether it be in a small group or whether it be from the stage or from a speaking opportunity, what they say to me is you come across as an expert. You really do sound like the expert. And the reason why I sound like the expert I am is because I have a well-prepared, well-rehearsed 60 seconds or presentation. Now, that's not to say you need to memorise it from memory word for word, because that's just not going to be natural. But what I recommend, whether it be a 60-second, a 10-minute or a 30-minute or even 3-hour presentation, if you have planned out and thought about a well-structured structure, so you've planned a structure, particularly in a 60 seconds, because it's not a lot of time, you can just go through mentally as you're presenting it, going, yes, I've done the introduction, yes, I've mentioned me and who I am, yes, I've talked about exactly what it is, specifically what I do, what my niche is, and yes, I've popped in a testimonial or a case study. So I highly recommend that you take the time, rehearse your presentations, whether they be 10 seconds, 60 seconds, or 3 hours or 3 days. Make sure you take that time, because you are going to come across as the expert you are. And irrespective of how much of an expert you are, if you don't prepare for these live presentations, then anything can go wrong. Your confidence can be completely shattered if something goes wrong with technology, which is highly likely as much as we love it, or the audience is not responding how you wanted. Because you're prepared, you can adapt. You feel confident, you know your stuff, and then you come across as the expert you truly are. So my recommendation this week in Fleur Allen's weekly business update is be prepared.